Hi, this is Masenya of Masenya Attorneys Incorporated, a law firm based in Centurion, Republic of South Africa. We boast 24 years of legal practice in the areas of commercial and tax laws. My professional team and I have over the years proved great success in assisting numerous clients with a myriad of commercial and tax matters involving millions of rands. We are skilled, experienced, qualified, and have the capacity to assist you. Email us at clients@cntlaw.co.za or call us 011-318-6592 or 084-383-7747. All consultations are strictly by appointment.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, live from Johannesburg, South Africa. Good to be with you. I hope you're doing well today. Please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and also let me know how you're doing. Where are you watching from? Please use the comment section. Let me know where you're watching from and say hi to somebody. Really, really appreciate that. It's a new week, not a new week, end of the week rather, and quite a lot has been happening. So one of the news out there that had happened recently is the issue of Bishop T.D Jakes. We know Bishop T.D Jakes had been facing some allegations right from the issues of P. Diddy, that is Puff Daddy, the American music mogul who has been imprisoned. I think it's going for 7 years or so, who used to have like these big parties and people coming and doing all sort of stuff. Now, after that came out a man called Youngblood came out and accused Bishop T.D Jakes of sexually assaulting him about 40 years ago when he was younger. And T.D Jakes was a traveling pastor and he came to their city and in the night, he jumped into bed with him. He had an erection and tried to kiss him. And the man ran away. Now, the man came out, gave some interview, and really said, this is what happened. And even got a couple of people who were aware of the issue back in the day to actually write an affidavit for court. Now, these are very serious allegations, especially when you accuse somebody of such sexual assault and allegations, somebody who is a leader, somebody who is well respected, somebody who has, branded themselves as a man of God, a man of integrity and dignity. To be accused of such definitely must be a very big accusation. And T.D Jakes obviously later on replied to the allegations by filing a lawsuit against this guy called Youngblood. And this has been in court all through the year, actually even asking for him to pay a certain amount of money and all that kind of stuff. But T.D Jakes, all he was trying to do was to clear his name. All he was trying to do was to say, look, I never did these things. Or maybe I don't even know who this person is. But shockingly enough, yesterday, was it 2 days ago, both the accuser, that is Youngblood, who accused T.D Jakes, the accused, decided to settle and dismiss the case. Does that happen? Yeah, it does happen in some cases. So sometimes cases like this do happen when the one person decides to pay up the other person and so they can just move on with their lives. Or both people would now sit down, both of them, and say, look, hey, this case is going to damage us. This case is not, it's going to exhaust our time and whatever. Let's just let it go. So these are instances where you see cases ending the way it just ended. But before then, let me even actually give you a statement that came out of it. After nearly a year of dwelling filings and a failed effort to recover more than 76,000 in legal fees, T.D. Jakes has voluntarily dismissed the defamation lawsuit against ex-pastor turned registered sex offender Dwayne Youngblood, who accused T.D. Jakes of sexually assaulting him 40 years ago. Now, you have to look at this news and really evaluate it. After nearly a year in court, T.D. Jakes was trying to recover $76,000 that he has spent in legal fee, which he never recovered. But T.D. Jakes had now voluntarily dismissed the defamation lawsuit that he had instituted against this ex-pastor, Dwayne Youngblood, who accused him. I don't know what you make of this. The ex-pastor was actually a registered sex offender also, and I understand that. You could say, oh, okay, maybe he's not somebody you could trust and all that kind of stuff. But some people will say, oh, look, most people who are sexually assaulted or abused when they're young, they actually, there's a spirit, they get open to a spirit of promiscuity and abuse themselves, and they tend to become sex abusers themselves. And it does happen. I've seen a lot of cases like that. So, and now there was no official statement from T.D. Jakes, his ministry. So now it's just more like, let's just forget about it and move on. What happened, actually? Is there some element of truth in what this accuser was saying regarding T.D. Jakes' actions? And T.D. Jakes, obviously, with all this PDD thing and all that, doesn't really want this to go out publicly, and maybe decided to pay him to walk away. Or T.D. Jakes just felt, look, I'm not up to this, let's just let it lie. But one thing I know is, if you are a man of faith and a person of integrity and you've been accused of something as despicable as this, you would want to clear your name. This man went on different platforms and accused T.D. Jakes of sexually assaulting him over and over again. Now, if I'm going to settle with you, I would expect you to go back to these platforms and recount, withdraw your statements, and apologize. It's very simple. I'm not asking for too much, because these accusations are very serious. And trust me, in America, when you hear that a case that has gone to court, when a pastor is accused, and then you don't hear about the case anymore, or they settled, settle means most times there's an element of truth, or money changes hands. The same thing happened with Bishop T.D. Long, about 15 years ago, whose boys came out and said, no, this guy sexually assaulted them. He groomed us. He used to give us money. We used to fly with him in his private jet. And this is what he did to us. Bishop T.D. Long came out and said, look, these boys are not who they claim to be. I don't even know them. And I'm going to sue them, and I'm going to make sure they tell the truth. Nothing ever came out. He paid them. And you see how he passed away. So, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because sometimes we just want to let certain things go. First, because when we look at so-called men of God and church leaders being accused of certain immoral acts, we tend to defend them. We tend to think they would never do something like that. And to be honest with you, I used to be the same way until I began to, as a journalist, began to get complaints and begin to investigate them. Then I was like, hey, there's so much. Some of these pastors and prophets and bishops, what they do behind the scene, behind the curtains, is actually very despicable and shocking and immoral. And they try to cover it up. They will do anything to cover it up. Pay people, try to silence people, intimidate people, threaten people. They do a lot of it. So do not be quick to defend a so-called man of God who's been accused of anything. Ask questions and follow the story. Now, T.D. Jakes, and he's just expecting everybody to just move on. But at least an explanation would do. If this man wrongly accused you, he needs to come out and apologize to you. But you cannot just, put everything under the carpet and think we can just move on. And that's what we do a lot of times in church. And when people like us begin to ask questions, people get mad and angry, start attacking us. But these are just simple, very basic interrogation that we need to interrogate. You need to interrogate certain things. You don't just sit down. You don't just accept them as the gospel truth. No, it doesn't work that way. So please do. Because that way you're going to be able to look at things critically, objectively, not subjectively. Have a great evening. God bless you.